We are joined now by Betty Williams. She is the Greater Sacramento NAACP president. Good morning.
Good morning.
Always a pleasure to talk to you. Glad you're here.
Thank you.
You met with school officials yesterday. Tell us about that meeting.
We met for a couple of reasons. One, to give our demands of what we expected. We expected equity in the treatment of the ruling that came down. We didn't think there was equity as far as the suspension. The suspension was, the max was 3-day suspension and the minimum was a 1-day suspension. And they suspended all the kids in the video, but they didn't suspend any of the kids that participated in the video. And so that was a problem for us. And so, for example, there was a kid that actually put the rope and or a belt around the neck of one of the African American kids and jumped out of the video. So he got a 1-day suspension. And then you will hear one of the students talk last night on how he didn't want to be part of it, and he actually ran toward a door. And there were students that blocked him and prevented him from leaving. And so, but again, they didn't get the same suspension. So we talked about the equity of the punishment and that we demanded a full investigation and that the equity of the punishment should go for everyone, not just the individuals who were predominantly African Americans on the video.
The statement that they sent us said that they had those conversations with you. Do you believe that they're going to follow through on those demands or that there will be a change in the punishment? I
actually do. In some of the things that we shared in our investigation, I have to say the superintendent, she was truly surprised. There were some things that she wasn't aware of and made her think differently on how they would move forward with any of these things. They assured us that we were talking not just equity in the punishment, but looking at training for their staff and their teachers. We were looking at the way the environment is. So you don't start with the mock slavery incident. It happened way before that. So we talked about those students feeling inadequate of being called the N-word in that environment and how they didn't have anyone that looked like them that they could go to and share those incidents. So they seemed surprised. And so what we decided to do after we actually shared with them all the things that we would like, implicit bias training, all of those things, bringing parents in as well as far as training, not just teachers. They agreed to all of those, and we do have a follow-up meeting with them next week. And you know, we're talking about one incident in one school, but this isn't the first time we've talked about it. It's for sure not the first time we've covered it here at KCRA. There have been a number of incidents in recent months and even over the past few years of incidents at school, racist incidents of hate at school. How do you address it? When you talk big picture, how do you address what we're seeing in schools right now? Because there's been so many incidents and the NAACP, the Sacramento branch, has been inundated with so many racist and discriminatory actions. So we launched on our website, sacnacp.com, a survey where parents or students confidentially can log in those issues at those schools and or those school districts. And so what I can say, we just launched it last night, and I was able to see a response this morning from a young lady who was inspired by the young men telling their stories last night. And so she tells this story of not just students, but teachers treating her differently, and she's African American. And so we're hoping that this site will capture many other students, many other parents telling their story so we can track trends and see if there's certain school districts and or schools. But ultimately though, we've got a couple minutes left here. How do you address it? How do you really get to the root of the problem and fix it? Can it be fixed? Can it be solved? Well, some of it can be solved through education and through training. Some of it can, and then some of it can be solved through termination of individuals. And so if you take out the individuals that are constantly part of this, then you take out the cancer. So we hope that bringing in the NAACP and our partners that can bring in training to both students, teachers, and parents, that it will change the environment of the school, and that's what the partnership is about. But if we don't know who they are, if they're too afraid to tell, or they don't have individuals that look like them where they can share the story, they will never tell it. So that's why it's important that they do go to our website and share it, and we ask them for permission to talk to them so that we can start the process of educating.
And so we'll have to follow up with you guys to find out what trends you are seeing and
Yes.
what's kind of happening over the next maybe few months, definitely over the next year, to just see kind of what you are seeing in this area. And then, you know, maybe we talk more about a bigger picture, maybe even on the state level of how to kind of address what we're seeing here in Northern California.
I would love to do that because the new numbers came out for suspension and expulsion for California. And so Sacramento is the epicenter of suspension of black boys. Out of the entire state, LA is the largest county, but Sacramento County is the largest contributor to suspension of black boys. And so we do need to look at that.
All right, so much to unpack. Again, always good to see you. Thanks so much for being with us this morning. Something we'll continue to follow up. Mike, back to you.